What's up, YouTube? Hammond Doc back. I've calmed down now. I got a little excited there. And I'm not apologizing either. I'm not. I'm telling you what I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that little preaching session. But right now, we're not going to preach. We're going to show you. I'm going to show you this next project as I promised to do in that last video. But you know, when the Spirit give utterance. That's what it means. To give, when the Spirit give utterance, you give utterance. And the Spirit was moving upon me to give utterance and to testify of His goodness. And so the goodness of the Lord. So I'm going to share with you another goodness of the Lord right here. Here it is. This is another project. Having projects is part of the goodness of the Lord. Uh-oh, getting ready to deviate again just a little bit. Let me do this. This has got to come. This is coming. Let me share another story with you. I was this is for somebody. This is for, when I just said it's for somebody. It's for somebody. If you have, and what I didn't say in the last video, that if you have children who don't like school, do all that you can do to help them to make school, to do all that you can do to help make school exciting for them. They need school. They need, and after school, they need community college. They need 4-year college. They need trade school. You need skills to operate in this world, in adult life. It's tough in the adult world. And you need to have skills. You need to have knowledge. I was working on my internship at Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas, and I remember riding in the car with my wife and looking around at various businesses on the highway or along the highway and thinking to myself, I know one of these days I want to have a business. I want to have my own business. That didn't mean that I didn't want to work for some company, as like now I'm a professor at a university, associate professor of psychological science at the University of Central Missouri, and enjoy that, love that job, and been in at this university since 1988. I mean, I love the job. I love doing that work, but I had planned to do something else as well, because my father was bivocational. My father taught school for 33 years, and he also owned a radio and television shop. So I understood the importance of being bivocational, because that second vocation allowed him to afford us various opportunities in life that we would not have been afforded had he not worked as an entrepreneur and business owner. And so his bivocational disposition granted for my family during my coming up or upcoming special blessings or privileges, if you will, fiduciary opportunities, financial opportunities that some other people didn't have, because they did not have that income. So we were able to go to certain places and go on vacations and so forth and so on, and we were never hungry, and we were able to always have nice things and nice cars and clothes and all these things. And that was because my daddy worked. He went to college and he worked. So he taught me the value of working, and this is what I'm talking about to you today. The importance of working. You work in school. And then so I was on the internship at Texas Tech, had finished all my work for my doctoral degree in psychology as far as the academic work, and had completed all the required examinations other than the dissertation. And I was on the internship, and I was driving along or riding along with my wife and looking around, and I said to her, I said, you know, I'm going to have some kind of business one day, but I don't know exactly what it's going to be at this time. I'm talking about, this was back in the late 1980s. And I said, but the Lord is going to show it to me. And He's going to show me the business that I'm going to found or open. or establish. But he had already given it to me. He had already shown me. Because when I was in graduate school, I can remember sitting in an office doing a graduate assistantship and daydreaming about owning my own music store. It was going to be a Hammond organ music store where I taught Hammond organ music. Taught Hammond organ skills, how to play the Hammond organ, taught piano lessons. I mean, I could see that in my head, where I would sell Hammond organs. And I wasn't really thinking about repairing Hammond organs at that time. And what time am I talking about? I'm talking about 1981, 1982. But I was thinking about selling. In fact, I started selling Hammond organs right around 1983. I sold my first Hammond C3. My father was my first customer. My second customer was my Aunt Mary, who is a pastor right now, pastor of the Wingate Church of God, founded by Jesus Christ in Wingate, North Carolina. The Hammond B3 organ that she has in her church, I sold it to her when I was a graduate student back in 1983, 84, right around there. It's a Hammond B3 there. So, and she still has that organ. So God had already placed in my soul, and it was in my spirit, and it came up into my mind, will, and emotions, my soul, what type of business beyond the profession, the secular profession that I was in psychology, that I would engage in. But it took some years for that to manifest into what I'm doing here now. And a few years later, there was a church that I was playing for, and some things happened. I mean, the organ went down, and a man from another town had to come and fix the organ. I had an organ, and I would have to call the man to come in and fix my organ. I'm like, hey, let me look at what this guy's doing. And I saw him fixing the organ. I had some skills, but I didn't know what he was. And so I started learning. I started reading, studying, watching videos, ordering material about how to work on organs and Leslie's, and started traveling and getting with competent Hammond organ technicians like Bill Brown of BB Organ up in Freely, Minnesota. Hooked up with him. He's been just a blessing to me. Some other guys in Tennessee and other places. I have phone contacts with people on the East Coast, up in the New Jersey area and so forth. And I mean, these people have been a blessing to me over the years. Another guy here in the Kansas City area was a phenomenal help to me in the early years and helping me to develop skills and rebuilding amplifiers. I mean, and then I took electronics at the college level myself. That also increased my knowledge, and then started doing it. And so back to the story, when I was playing for this church, and the organ broke down, and so we had to call other people to do it. And I said, I'm going to get trained in how to do this myself. My father had already taught me some things when I was 12 years old, and so I had some skills in organ maintenance, and so I just put all of that together. And then this church that I was no longer playing for this particular church, but that church called me because they were having problems with their organ. I was playing for some other church. And that church called me and said, Dr. Kemp, we having a problem with our organ. I said, oh, I'll come and see it and look at it and see what I can do. And the time I got the organ, looked at it, and I said, oh, it's the amplifier. I could tell that it was the amplifier. I pulled that out and looked at it. I said, you know what? I said, I believe I can fix this. I had a brother-in-law who was in the Air Force. He was an electronics guy. He helped me immensely in terms of electronic theory and tools and instruments that I needed to learn how to utilize to be able to do some diagnostic work. And I'm telling you, we used Radio Shack. Back in that day, I used Radio Shack. I didn't know nothing about these companies or how to buy stuff that I needed to buy all the stuff that I have here now. I didn't know how to do all of that. And I had to learn the ropes. And so I'd go to Radio Shack and get whatever I needed. And I'm telling you, I fixed that amplifier. The church was happy. I was happy. I got paid. And when I saw wow, I get paid for doing this? I'm going to learn how to do this and learn how to do it well. So that's when I went out and ventured out and started training and going to where I needed to go in order to train to become proficient in doing this kind of work. And that's how it started. And then I started buying organs and buying Leslie's and buying amplifiers and buying these different parts and buying motors and learning how to fix all of these things. And then I taught my son, and I'm still teaching him. My son, and I told him, my son Harrington, he's better at rebuilding Leslie motors than I am. I taught him, and he's better at it. He's much more proficient because that's what he does all the time. And I'm getting ready to start training him on some other things, how to repair amplifiers and other things like that, so he can become proficient on those as well. So that's my story. That's how it happened. Okay? So maybe then in this next video, I'll actually get to back to the project that's on my desk and show you what I'm working on. But I think that's enough for the two-part series on the importance of work. All right? So until the next series, Hammond Doc saying to you, peace out.